Welcome to the Wealthy Actor Podcast. I'm Valorie Hubbard, an industry veteran with 25 years dedicated to helping actors navigate the business side of their craft.
And I'm James Hallett, a fellow lifelong actor and coach, joining Valorie on this journey.
Here on The Wealthy Actor, we're diving deep into the stories and insights of actors from all walks of life.
We'll be unraveling the threads of success, failures, and everything in between.
So if you're ready to embark on a journey beyond the footlights, join us as we sit down with fascinating actors, industry experts, and thought leaders to uncover the secrets of becoming a truly wealthy actor. I'm Valorie Hubbard.
And I'm James Hallett.
And this is the Wealthy Actor Podcast, where the art of acting meets the business of building a truly prosperous life in the spotlight. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Wealthy Actor Podcast. My name is Valorie Hubbard, and I'm here joined by my co-host,
James Hallett. Hi, Val.
Hi. We have an amazing guest, a good friend of ours, someone we've known a very long time here today. And we're really excited to have Tish Hicks from the VO Dojo and an amazing voiceover artist. Tish Hicks is an accomplished, successful LA voiceover artist and the creator and CEO and master sensei of the VO Dojo, a holistic, full training voiceover program that guides, supports, connects, and accelerates every step of the way from I don't know to working pro. She has been telling stories in all genres of voiceovers, commercials, animation, video games, TV, narration, promo, audiobooks, etc. for 25 plus years, including being the voice of many high profile and long running campaigns like Subaru and Citibank. Tish is a 2020 Stevie Award winner for Female Entrepreneur of the Year. And the Dojo was awarded 2020 Company of the Year. She is the graduate of Northwestern University's theater department, where bringing stories to life was instilled as a way of life. Welcome, Tish Hicks.
Hi, guys. So good to be here with you.
Hi, it's so good to have you. We're so excited to have you. Just so everyone knows, we all three were in a mastermind together. And yes, so we've been around each other for a while.
And both of you have also done the You Should Do voiceover, our foundational class.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I just sent someone the other day to you for that, which, you know, I never get the name right. I booked a job when I was in that class. Because I remember, like, you know, Tish was like, James, she was like, bring it back, Valorie, bring it back, more small, like intimate. And then she gets to video games in that class. She's like, this is where you can be loud and you can lose you don't lose your voice. I'm like,
I'm in.
So Tish, you know, this is the Wealthy Actor Podcast. And as I was just saying in pre-show, that I really wanted, first of all, you have made a living as a voiceover actress. How many years?
Well, we were just kind of looking at numbers. I moved to LA in 94, and I had already started booking like my first jobs in Chicago. It took about 18 months of training and being really focused and saying, this is what I'm doing, that I got to my first agency. And then it's probably about a year after that I wrote in my Christmas card, like, all right, guys, booking. And I wrote in my Christmas card, like, all right, 6 figures next year. And then it was. And I can't say that every single year of the last 20 to 25 to 30 years has been over 6 figures, but most of them have been. And I've been really blessed with really long-running, great campaigns. So it has been a lot of blessings. But when it's not, I'm like, what the hell, right? Like, that's my mindset. Like, what's going on, guys? We got to kick it in here. Like, that's my mindset around voiceover money. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I have another question. What made you decide, since you went to Northwestern, which for you guys that maybe aren't Americans, it's one of the best acting programs in the country. What made you decide to do voiceovers?
Well, actually, it's one of the best. It's one of the best in the country, but I think it's still, 40 years. I'm not sure what best acting programs are including voiceover in their curriculum, but nobody told us about it. Nobody told us about voiceover. So it was 5 years later that I had what I call the helicopter coming, that I had a friend who was a creative director at a big agency in Chicago, Leo Burnett, and he called one day and said, "Hey, I've got these spots for Bally's Total Fitness I think you'd be good at." And I was like, "Okay, sure. I'll bet you I could do it." And I left that session going, boom. This is what I'm here to do. Everything I've done in my theater training, in my Shakespeare background, in my opera training, the improv. I was working at Second City at the time doing improv. I was like, this. I got paid. I got Taft-Hartley'd. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. And 6 months later, I made a choice of going to Alabama Shakes for a paid grad program or moving to Los Angeles. And I recognized, like, let's cut to the chase. So I arrived here going, boom, what do we need to do? And that's basically what the dojo came years later, but it is based on what did I do in those moments when my hair was on fire, that I knew that this was what I was doing, and I was asking everybody, and what did I do to get to where I got to in 18 months? And that's where we draw from.
I grew up in Chicago. My dad was a professor at Northwestern, and I worked at Leo Burnett.
See, we are destined. Destined to cross paths.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's intense. Like, that recognition that you knew, like, when you touched it, it resonated, and you were like, oh, this is it. This is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you did it. Like, that's the other thing, is that you heard that and you responded.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I find, and this is what we instill at the dojo, like, if you have that little, hey, our foundational class is called You Should Do Voiceover. And 90% of the time it's because in the world, people are told every single day, like, hey, you've got a nice voice, you should do voiceover. Or there's that voice inside you that's going like, it'd be fun. So finding that connection at that deep level of like, this is what I must and want to do. Yeah. And then what we do at the dojo is like, and this is what it takes, babies. It's not easy, but it doesn't have to be hard, is what we say. So.
Can I ask you, how many, like, if you were to say, like, how many people have come through the program?
Oh my gosh. Well, the program, the Mystery to Mastery, our full program, is designed to have 40 people coming in. There's 4 belt levels. We usually aim to have about 10 people. So I don't know. It's definitely in the hundreds. I don't know if we'd go thousands yet, but it's really cool. Like, we have someone who we just had a picnic, a potluck, a gathering, because we don't see each other in person anymore. But there is someone, Michael Levin, who's a stand-up and a really experienced dude. And he took You Should Do Voiceover back when it was in my family room, like 15 years ago. And then he's back. So, yeah, it's a lot. I don't have the exact statistics, but we can.
No, but that's all. I've seen how many people have succeeded, right? And who are working.
Yeah.
People are coming out of your program and working.
Yeah.
And that's the key, right?
Well, what we do at the dojo is we really take a holistic approach in that understanding, yes, there's skill set, but there's a mindset, there's skill set, there's hands-on experience. Just had a kid come through You Should Do Voiceover who did his thing, had chutzpah, did the thing to get to an agency, got his first big video game and totally blew it because he had no experience of the hands-on part. And so, we're like, here come, his agent was like, go get some training, kid. So we're excited to have him come and have this place to be like, okay, you're all right. That happened. It's okay. It's not rocket science, but you do need to know how it goes and have it be something you're relaxed at and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's so funny because I'm getting ready to do my agent pitch, and I always think like, people are always like trying to get the agent first. It's like, that's what happens. I'm always scared when I would teach acting and someone would sign with a big agent, right? I'd be like, oh God, because it already, it's like they're not really ready for that part.
Sorry, I stopped at that story, but that's where the holistic part comes. The hands-on experience, the technical, we need to do this just in the same way as on camera. You need to be able to do a self-tape. That's part of the game now. Physical and vocal instrument, the business, and then community and connection. How do you not do it alone? It's always just you, but you never do it alone. So, but we take all of those things from the very beginning, and I think that's what gives people, when you get to a certain place, when you're ready to cross the threshold from our Mystery to Mastery program into our Working Pro division, we continue to support each other in a different structure, but it's all like laid out there. And then you have the time, you have the space, you have the mindset, you have the skills, and you just go like, okay, I'm launching my business now. Right? Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so this is the Wealthy Actors. And I know because we've grown our businesses together, you're hitting 15 years. You already hit 15 years. I'm getting ready to hit it. And I know that I've had a very up and down relationship building a business with about money. And so I just kind of am really, really curious, like, what is the journey you've been on? You've been making mostly six figures every year for a long time, but then you also started a business, which I think is a whole different thing.
It is,
So
in some ways, yes. And the more you know about the more you go into whatever you're doing with your performance, with your art, that you go into it going, I am starting a business, the better that it is. Yeah. Oh, I brought some visuals. This is a great visual. So just in terms of my voiceover money, and then we'll get back to the dojo and we'll have a little drink because, oh my gosh, building a business, it's the most joyous thing and it's the most like nerve-wracking thing. Okay. So let's see. Oh, we'll keep just the checks here, not the paper. It's not padded. Okay. So these are voiceover checks from last week. It's visual, and it's a little old school, but these are checks from last year. And this one cracks me up. This is my TV money. $5 from ER years ago. Oh, Drew
we're
Carey
getting more
show.
money from ER now because of the pit.
Oh, yeah, no, I did get a $40 ER thing. And I have a Zodiac check that comes in, too. I was cut out of Zodiac. But that's my TV and movie star money. And that's my voiceover money. So I think I like the visuals. I try not to be a douchebag with the fan of checks, but I'm like, no, this is really what happens, guys, when you have a long-running campaign. So now back to the question of the business. Businesses are businesses, and businesses are like babies. Businesses at first require that you feed them every 2 hours and you get no sleep, and you have to have a vision for what they will be when they grow up, and you have to raise them every second. And then they get to the next point, and that is like there is a proven cycle of what happens in a business. And it's you start up and then you work really, really, you do all the things and you get your product and you get everything going. You get your first clients and then ideally they become repeat clients. And then there's the maybe break even phase, and then there's the profit phase, and then there's the how are we going to go this, and then there's the how will we sell this because we're old now, right? Or maybe not old, but there is, in the same way we approach this sort of gestation metaphor for developing your skills as a voiceover artist. There's a natural progression from I don't know to working pro, and it's this, you know, this and this and this and this. And there's a natural progression in building a business, and you just have to trust it. And it does go up and down. I'm going to be presenting at the One Voice conference in Dallas at the end of August. And the breakout session I'm doing is called, If You Can Take It That Far, You Can Take It All the Way, Mindset and Strategy for the Messy Middle. Like, there's a big part of that is just the messy middle, and you're here where you want, you know where you are, you know you're not where you were, but you're not where you want to be, and you got to go like, what's happening? So, yeah, businesses require a lot of you and give you a lot, too. You learn so much about yourself and who and why you're in the world. They require, and once you, this is about anything, once you get to one place, then like, okay, we've got this. Now, what's next? You know, now I have a team of 10 people. So we are always like, yes, right here, on to the next thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a lot because we're here to serve a lot of people. So it goes bigger. I don't know if that is coherent for what you're saying, but.
Well, and just to add on to that from our two coaches, because we've shared two coaches, one from the first one, Melissa, build a better business, build a better you, right? And that is so true because even in the heartache and the down times, it's changed me as a person to build this business in the last 15 years. And the other one is, and from Michelle, entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart, right? And, both of those things I think are really true. So, and also for me, it's been, up and down, and I think that's like one minute you're there and then you're like, how did I get here? Well, COVID, a strike, like everything else that happened. And, COVID was good to you because that's the one thing that didn't fail.
Right, that's where everybody
voiceover.
Shifted to. Yeah, no, that was a very, very good year.
Remember that we did a webinar very early in COVID and there was like 500 people on it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Go ahead, James. You have a question?
No, I was just reflecting on moving from the entrepreneurship question into sort of the realization of all actors that they are entrepreneurs. And so moving from the artist mindset where I'm an artist and what I'm doing is creative and I have to be babied or protected or I have this delicate thing. And entrepreneurship, it's not antagonistic to that, but it does require a different kind of fortitude. And I think that one of the things that the most successful actor artists that I know are the ones who have found a way to exist as entrepreneurs. I think that I want to expand the sort of the image of this, that we're not just three entrepreneurs here talking to artists. There were actually three actors and artists who have recognized the necessity of also being entrepreneurs, and that's the in a way that's the form or the surrounding container that allows the artist self to flourish.
Yeah, and I think that's a beautiful way to put it, because I personally think our creative souls are our first children, or like a child in terms of our responsibility to them, how they will be part of our lives forever. Even if you're like, I'm not an actor anymore, like, well, you left your baby at the fire station then. Or our creativity goes into a different direction. It might not be on camera, it might not be doing this, but but there's something there. And I think the interesting thing that is the initial kind of, what's the right, like mind leap or the leap of logic, that if you're selling cookies, you're selling cookies. And if a batch of cookies doesn't turn out, then you do it again and you go like, this is the cookie. When we're artists, we are the product. And the more you can go like, yep, I'm the product, so what does this mean? And how will it serve? How will I be of service? And I think that's kind of hard because you have to kind of be cool with who you are and what you are. And then you have to be okay with putting yourself forth and people saying yes or people saying no, if they're the right people that are for your business. I think that one of the reasons I love working with you guys, and I so believe in what Actors Fast Track is, and I love working with people from Actors Fast Track because they are being instilled with, we have the power. If we do not relinquish the power, which everything in the business is set up, I submit my audition. I submit. I have no power. I totally submit to you. I'm submitting to an agent because I need representation, right? Yes, you can move your business deeper and faster and farther and have access to more things when you do have other people on your team. But if you think, I need representation, then that's not the mindset. I need to find the right people on my team who is going to move this product forward in the world. That's empowered. And there's so much about all of the business of acting that's like, I take all your power and you just give it to me. And we're like, okay, that's all right. I'll just feel shitty about everything and have no money for the rest of my life. That's okay.
And then we become needy. And they even say to me, I don't want to come across as needy. And it's been something that's really been given to us generationally. It's like we're the abused wife in the corner, right?
Until you go like, I'm out.
I'm out.
A question came in. This is Terry Briscoe. A question for everyone. How do you know when someone, quote, has it?
How do I know?
I mean,
yeah.
Go ahead and answer any way you want to.
Okay, so sometimes someone comes in and you go like, oh yeah, you totally get this. You totally get, yep, got it. It has the right mindset, has the right skill set. is able to access their joyous playfulness, like, playfulness. Sometimes you're like, oh yeah, this will just be a second. But there's still things to learn and things that you need to do. And then one of the things I love about the dojo is that it is this place that is an incubator for the soul. Because there's so many people who are just like beloved dojo clients, dojo students, dojo members, that when they started were like, oh wow, we've got a lot to do. This would not be my first choice for you, but for others it might not be your first. Okay, you're dyslexic and ADHD, and like you can't quite read, or you like. We don't care at the dojo. Like, if you want to do this, come to this place and explore. And it is so what is possible. And let's work in a way that you're connecting up with what you do have and making that your superpower and figuring out how to overcome. We've got a lot of people. Voiceover is a great thing if you are dealing with any, like, I had cancer a couple of years ago. Do not recommend. Better now. But, this is work that you can do when you're dealing with other stuff. Like, maybe you can't go to a set physically, but you can still be an actor. Anyway, I do not believe that if you come into a place like the dojo and you show up, then you are on your journey. And I do not say at the beginning, like, you got it, kid, or
yeah,
send it out, because I think what happens when it goes back to that that thing within you, if you understand that and why and what it is, and then you do the work, and if it's not quite competitive, if it's not competitive, we'll be like, okay, it's not competitive yet. Your gestation period's going to be longer, or we'll find the thing that is your thing.
Yes.
Right? Let's find the thing that is your thing and let's go there. You don't have to do everything, but we'll find the thing that is your thing. And frankly, our mission at the dojo is aligning people with the power and possibility of their voice. It happens to be through the vehicle of voiceover, but if someone leaves a toxic relationship, if someone goes and starts a business, and you are aligned with your voice. Our work here is done. That's why I love working with both of you too, because you both, the spiritual and from the soul part, that the work that you do, James, and the spiritual and from the soul part, but about like, let's go, bitches, that you bring, Valorie. That's what it is. That's what it takes.
And you know what? I want to answer that question too, because the truth is, I learned very early on, it's not about talent, it's about drive. I was telling another client this morning, when I was teaching acting, I had a kid that was Russian and had a stutter. Now, if I was betting on him to be successful in Hollywood, I would have bet against him. But he listened to what I said and went out and did it, and he started getting paid to act. And I was like, well, who am I to say whether you have it or not? Because if you want something really bad and you do consistent action and you take the action, yeah, maybe it's like, you have to work harder to get the skill set, but if you're driven, and stay at it,
And then also, this goes back to the entrepreneur part. I'm trying to instill in people how to, I don't know, I'm going to be 60 this year. And so I'm moving, like, how is my power system? And I feel like in my 20s, it was kind of like kinetic energy, jump off the cliff, woo, what happens? Whoa, something's going to happen. And then sort of 30s and 40s is like combustion engine, like you got to do the work. You keep on putting the fuel in, and then you get things out, and you put in more fuel, and then you get more things out. I had a little time in like my late 40s where I was like, I am plutonium. I am the source of all energy and everyone must contain me. And I was like, okay, yeah, no, that's not working for anyone. That's kind of dangerous and poisonous. And where I've come to now is, how do you create a solar powered life? Of how do you create the infrastructure so that it takes a bit to set it up, but the sun is there. It rests for 12 hours. It works in the rain. It works in the sun. It's there. You maintain it. You have to take care of it, but you don't have to. It's we could go into a metaphysical discussion of masculine energy and feminine energy, and we need both. But I don't know. There's something about drive. We need it. It is essential. Like if we go drive and consistency, right? Like if we shift that, because we don't necessarily want to create a life that we're over driving and forget what it is to be alive and why we enjoy it, and that because it does require, you can overdrive. I'm always like, that's why I have this team, and my team will be like, girl, what are we doing now? Like, what's going on? Like, what are we doing now? Like, not what are we doing? Like, oh my God, it's crazy. But like, it requires, there's so much that needs to be done. And how do you instill in yourself while you're creating your systems that you've got your drive, find how not to build in overdrive. That's what I would say. Oftentimes when I do podcast interviews, I'm like, what do you know now that you didn't know then? And sometimes you just have to go through that evolution. Sometimes you just have to build that grit and not expect that there's going to be any drinks with umbrellas in it at the end. And it doesn't stop. That's the other part. I think people think like, oh, wow, you've made it. I'm like, darling, I just put haven't had a political demo. I was like, look, I think there's so many things. I'm just launching my political voiceover career in a good time. And, it's the things that my voice represents. It'd be great if I were Black or Latino. That would be even better for me right now. Now I'm a nice white lady from the Midwest, so I'm going to focus on the nice white lady from the Midwest stuff. But, I'm still always going like, ooh, cool, what's next? And, so, yeah, it doesn't stop.
No, it never stops.
What I would add, too, just to finish off the question of having it, is that I think that the challenge for all of us is being okay with our authentic presence, our authentic voice. Mm-hmm. And that's more important than having it. And because I've seen lots of actors who had it. I've seen lots of people who were like, oh my God, that person has so much talent. And they didn't stay in the industry. And so I think that what you were saying, Tish, about consistency and what Val said about drive, it's like the real question is, am I okay with who I am and my presence, and am I okay being in my presence, in my present state of being with another? The question of stuttering, like I had a horrible stutter when I was a kid. James Earl Jones had a horrible stutter when he was a kid. If you heard a kid with a stutter, you wouldn't say that person has it, right? Because you'd be like, if you're judging by whether someone has it or doesn't have it, we're looking at the wrong thing. Because the most important thing is, are you okay speaking in your authentic self? And that's one of the biggest things that I learned from you, Tish, in your program was that it's like, it's not about changing your voice. It's about finding your voice and being in your voice. And that's where we're listenable to. Like, we're able to listen to somebody who's in their voice.
Yeah, no, that's one of the foundational principles of the dojo, coming from my spiritual energy work. But that voiceover is communication, and communication is an exchange of vibrational energy. And when we bring everything down, we know when someone's being inauthentic, like, hi, it's me. Hi, I'm Tish. Hi. And we know when it's authentic. I'm cracking my ass up. I'll just say a little confessional here. We are getting the dojo out in the world, and I've got a great team, and we're like, ooh, more social media. And holy buckets, guys, when you're on voiceover, you just connect up to the voice, but you don't like worry what your hair looks like and what your face is doing. And suddenly I'm all like, go to the dojo. I feel like all this stuff comes up in me. So I'm just at a beginning stage of that, and we're working on it, and it's growing pains, and it's like, ooh, and it'll be fine. And when I'm just talking to people, I'm fine, and you get a sense of me. But when I think, like, oh, it has to be it, like, how am I going to be I think that's an interesting thing. If the question is who has, how do you know if you have it? Like, well, what's it? Who's defining it? You know when you see it, right?
Yes.
You watch Zendaya, like, brush her teeth and go like, damn, she has it. She just has it. But it goes back to that, I'm just me. I happen to be one of the most gorgeous and talented people on the planet, but it's cool, Yeah, I think that's really... And I think that really interesting thing about that, James, is what I've found when people add voiceover to whatever else they're doing in their creative work, if it's on camera or if it's theater. This next level of intimacy, we just have the voice. We don't see anything else. We just have the voice. That's all we have. And that's where the connection happens. What I have found is that it complements and supplements and deepens to that level, that coming back to the on-camera stuff, even though that completely contradicts what I just said. I just haven't come back to the on-camera stuff in a way that I'm applying, like I have to be my own. But what I found is that it deepens and complements not only your work, but it brings this diversified portfolio, going back to the business part of, if you don't have an on-camera audition, you haven't booked that, or that show didn't come through, you have your voiceover auditions every day, and you go do sessions, and you can do that while you're on set. You have this other thing, and it complements and supplements what you already know and opens up all of these other doors. I think somewhere along the line in disempowered acting mindset, I don't, voiceover is so hard to break into. I don't want it to take away from my on camera because it'll take away. It's like, no, darling. No, darling. I read an interview with Billy Crudup, fantastic actor. We know who Billy Crudup is, but he talked about how important being the voice of MasterCard, because he had the Priceless campaign for years, and that it allowed him as an actor to do whatever the flip he wanted to do or not wanted to do, because he had voiceover money. He had voiceover money that allowed him to do whatever the hell he wanted to do. And that, I think, if you think about who he is and how he looks, and especially as a young, handsome, clean-cut penny loafer fellow, what could have happened, like what choices he was able to make, I think that's a fascinating way to look at it too. Like, how does it complement and supplement?
Yes.
So
yes, I have a commercial running since October. Yeah. And thank God I got into on-camera commercials very early in my career, because they've always showed up when I needed them. We have another question, right, James?
Yeah, we have another question. Karina Simone Williams says, has kept you all at the grind for this long? And what do you do that keeps you from quitting or pivoting before you hit gold?
Oh.
Anyone?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's keeping your eye on the prize, like keeping your eye on, like, and maybe sometimes it's like, when I started Actors Fast Track, it was a side business because I was good at helping actors, but now it's about changing the way actors do business. It's a bigger purpose, that's what really keeps me in it, in Actors Fast Track. And as far as my acting career, I've just always been in it, and I've always loved it, and it's up and down. But for me, it's like the bigger purpose. That's for me.
So acting coaches, like, I love working with actors. I love working with the imagination. I love seeing someone step into their own power. It fills me with absolute joy when a client says, oh my God, I love what I just did. Right? And they can send in an audition tape and feel absolutely excited about what they did. So there's that side of it. The other side of it, as an actor, it's really simple. There is nowhere else in my life where my full expression of self comes out. When I'm acting, there's a part of me that wakes up and it is on fire. And I know that, and other people recognize it, and it's an absolute joy of presence. And so for me, I can't not keep acting, because it's the fullest expression of myself.
Yeah.
And it's the fullest expression of me in contact with other people or in connection. So I guess in a way, for me, it's like not even a question. It's like, this is who I am. And I keep doing it because it's the most full expression of self.
And I think there's something inherent at the dojo. We do a lot of this, I call it semantic shifts that allow you to see and be in another way. So the very word grind is a little problematic, because how do you get through the grind? Well, if you have something going on in your knee, and every time you take a step, there's a grind of bone on bone, then what the hell is going on? There's a difference between having a mindset of this is a grind and my bones are grinding on each other, or I'm being pulverized into something else that'll be put in the coffee machine or whatever. The grind, how do you shift it to the focused flow? How do you put it into the extraordinary effort? Do extraordinary effort right now. And there's times that you have to do a lot of extraordinary effort. I just wrote a lesson about people who are halfway through the program going like, all right, babies, here's why you're tired. 'Cause you're moonlighting. You have 2 full-time jobs, and you're building you have a job, and you're doing whatever you need to do to stay alive or keep your family alive, and you're building a business, and that's a full-time job. So yeah, you're going to be a little tired. So just recognize where you're at, and then I think the question becomes, if there's any place that's grindy, what do you do to make it less grindy, right? If you're working 6 jobs and getting paid, this much and this much there and that much to keep things going, how do you get one job that pays you this and has flexibility? Like, find another solution to get, and not that, even if you do get a job that's like, woohoo, I got my big voiceover job with the big thing, it doesn't necessarily last. Once again, I've been really blessed that it lasts, but it doesn't necessarily last. You don't count on it lasting. You got to build your business, and building business takes effort. I think shifting the mindset from the words that you phrase, even if it feels like that, find another way to think about it. And the first thing we say at the dojo is, no one cares if you do this or not. Like, not to be shitty about it, but nobody's going to care if you do this or not. So if it's too much, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. It's okay. Everyone will be fine. Like, really, truly, everything will be fine. And then that's where your first child goes like, what the no? I can't not do it, but my soul, but what? You're right. And then you get your answer. So then you continue on. Right. But I think this is also where we as entrepreneurs need to know our value and how can we most efficiently use our time? Because I think a lot of times I've got an amazing younger son who's on an entrepreneurial journey, and he's studying business and entrepreneurship. He's in a really cool situation working with a family friend, starting literally a cookie business, and he is learning so much. And he is learning about what it takes to start a business on all angles, and he's hands-on literally in every way. And he's also learning about boundaries. And just because I'm an intern doesn't mean that I do this and this and this. And like, he's learning about boundaries and his value, right? And not to say that the value that he's getting from this experience is extraordinary. This kid just took, 3 years of studying something business and really like stepping in and going like, he's going to know how to be a good boss because the things that are happening, and not that the person he's working for isn't a good boss. Anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, he's learning to work hard and then understanding, oh, wow. You start thinking like, what is my value? What is my worth? And even when you're starting in voiceover, there may be opportunities like, oh, I can do a job for $40. Cool. Well, that's better than working for 6 hours at someplace else. Great. But that's not enough money, right? So how do you start understanding your value and your worth and keep on working on those things? So, yeah, so many metaphors, so little time.
How do you deal with your mindset? I mean, those are a lot of work that, so to take it from grind to joy or grind to my pleasure, like, what are some of the tips you can give on dealing? Because entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart, and we are emotional people, like, what are some of the things that you do to take care of this, your mind, body, and soul?
Mm-hmm. I have flying buttresses of support. Like, my cathedral is so high and so clear because I have flying buttresses of therapists and coaches and masterminds and old friends that I can call and go like, girl, and like, get support. You don't build anything that has any height, it doesn't have a structural intent without support. I think that's it. I think know thyself. I know my current incarnation of inner critic is called Chump, and oh my God, she gets so fucking angry and God damn it, and what okay, why don't I just do this? Well, okay, yeah, and she's just like mean, and she's angry, and she's mean. She's just like, oh, Chump is like, oh well, yeah, that'll work. Okay, great. Well, yeah, why don't I just do that? She's awful. And then know your inner champion. Mine is called Treasure. And so, like, the other day I had a session with my therapist, but like, you need to have ways to get things and work things through and be able to process all the things that come through and that we need to, and release what we don't need and embrace what we are. And embracing what's new is a whole nother thing of like, whoa, right? So, but champion is called Treasure. And just recently we got to like the end of that therapy session. In my mind, in my soulscape, I was sitting on the curb. Treasure put her arm around me and said, yep, well, what will we do? And I was like, oh, yeah, what will we do? Okay, yeah. So I think knowing yourself, knowing that we are emotional beings and we have lots of feelings and we have lots of composure and equanimity as well. It's all in there. So you got to know yourself, and and then try not to make it come out in other people. Like, figure out how to contain yourself like that.
That's not always easy these days. But,
this is becoming a little bit of a therapy session.
And it's interesting because all three of us are big coach advocates. I mean, I've been working with coaches since like the late 80s, and so for me, I have always been around coaches, and I am a coach. And I think it's so important because a lot of people try to do things alone and it just never works. For me, I know myself, like you said, know myself. I have to get help. I went into a money program at the group level, right? Girl, it was like 2 weeks I bought the private coaching because I was like, I know myself, right? I need the hand holding and it's that thing. Yeah. So we have more questions. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a bunch of questions. So first of all, Kim says, hi, I'm Kim. Just wanted to say thank you to you guys for this wonderful presentation. Hi to Valorie and everybody. Hi. Thanks for saying hi. So Fantasia Stardust says, starting a business, especially in a creative setting like voiceover or acting, is about working with people. So my question is, what was the hardest part in starting a business in this industry in regard to networking?
For me, it was not hard because I just talked to people that I knew. The VO Dojo, my voiceover career started like, hi, person at Leo Burnett. Okay, cool. I know you. Okay. I arrived at LA. Oh, hi, person I'm doing improv with. You're friends with Jen Hale? Oh, hi, Jen Hale. Hi. What should I do? How do I like it's all about just going from who you know and then getting good at going like, hi, it's me. Like you said, hi, it's me, Kim. Hi. What do you know? And then business-wise, the origin story of the dojo was it started, first of all, a crisis in my own career that I had to dig deep and go, because I had been a voice of Citibank for 7 years, and then a lot of stuff happened, and it was the first time in my career that it went down. And so I was on my own internal journey of going like, what the fucking, I know what this is. I know I'm good. What is going on here? But I had no skills, because it was always like, da-da-da, bigger campaign, that lasts for longer, da-da-da-da. And then it was like, whoops. And I was like, whoa. And so I was like little Tyrannosaurus Rex arms of like, I don't know what happens with this. And then I was like, wait a minute, I know this. So it was on my own inner journey of going like, what is it about voiceover? What do you love? What do you know? What makes you good at it? What is it? And at that same time, I was invited to do a peer group for Northwestern University, where it was like, yeah, just tell us some stuff you know. And I was like, that was where I crossed the threshold into teaching. I was like, oh, all the things that lined up to cross the threshold into voiceover. I was like, okay, let's add that you do all of this voiceover stuff, you do all this acting stuff, you do all the singing stuff, and you do kickboxing, and you ride dressage, and like, what is all this stuff? And I was like, oh, okay. But that was all based on people that I had relationships with, the alumni organization. Then I knew I was going to meet a bunch of people, and then those people knew people, and then I was in the coaching, my personal life coaching thing that evolved into the business coaching things. I think a semantic shift of changing the word networking to
Yes.
relationshiping. Like networking seems like something that people in little 80s jackets do. But relationshiping is something that we do every day, everywhere we are. And we have to cultivate it now because we're in our fucking boxes on our computers.
Yes.
But this is great. Like this is connecting. Fantasia, you were on a call yesterday. We have not met yet, but we've talked a little and you keep on showing up. So I kind of know you. Like you're asking good questions. Like, ooh, I kind of know you. We create things on the computer, but sometimes the computer keeps us away from each other. So anyway, that's my take.
And I'm totally with you on that. I think networking gets that's a bad name. We have to get rid of that because it comes across as super scary and it feels stiff. And I remember when I first started Actors Fast Track, I went to a networking event at the top of a hotel on Sunset Boulevard. And, you see all these actors sitting in their groups that they came with, and they're all sitting there scared. And if you go up and, I had just started Actors Fast Track, so I was looking for actors. So it was like a gold mine for me. But you go up to people and, they're like sitting there. It's like with your friends, it's like, go meet someone, go introduce yourself to someone. It is about building relationships. And that's really it. And I think it's like, it's overwhelming sometimes because you think like, oh, I want to get there. But how do you get there one foot in front of the other, like now and next, right? Mm-hmm. What am I doing right now? How can I get next? And so for me, when I hear that network and I hear the fear of that. And so I love that you call it relationshiping. I think that's great.
I agree. And also network is computer language and relationship is human language. And the challenge of really building business is not about selling yourself as a computer or trying to compute your way into, right? It's not figuring out how to succeed. It's being in relationship. That's the key to success, in my belief. I recently discovered Substack and the power of Substack, where it's not about marketing. You can't market on Substack. You are writing about things you care about and finding other people who care about that.
Yep.
It's a relationship. Like Substack is actually a relationship communication network or compute platform. So I think that we're all getting kind of exhausted from the computer things blasting us.
Yeah.
And so I think I loved what you said, Tish, in the beginning, which was I reached out to people I knew. Right? Mm-hmm. And that's also what Melissa McFarlane would call low-hanging fruit. Right? Mm-hmm. It's like, who do you know? And connect to people you know. Start there. Mm-hmm. Because that's actually how most people get the first jobs they get, is having somebody they know who says, oh, I'm doing this project. And you step forward and say, oh, I'd love to be a part of that.
Or, hi, I know you're doing this project, person I know. I'd like to be a part of that.
Yeah. Yes. Karina Simone Williams says, if you had to start your business over, or you could give advice to your younger self, what kind of lessons would you lean on? What would you say to yourself, Tish? If you could give your younger self the guidance.
I was once given a tagline of an essence of elaborate solutions for everyday problems. So I would say simplify. Simplify, and what's the other thing? Step into the place that you're afraid of. Like, I'm really good at making money. I'm still really bad at keeping track of money, and I pay a lot of people help me keep track of money, but it's still something that I'm not that I haven't stepped into fully. And when I do, it will just be much simpler and clearer. So simplify, clarify.
I think mine would be save 10 to 15% of every check I ever got for acting. That's what I would tell myself would be that. Number one. And number two, the same thing that you said. It's like, what are you scared of? Don't be scared. Face the fear and do it anyway. Right? It's no one's gonna bite you. I mean, they will bite, but they're not gonna destroy you. Just keep going. Keep going. Face the fear and keep going. Yeah.
I have something that's on the outside of my outside of, oh, sorry, it's the squeakiest chair in my booth. But it says, what would you do if you knew you could not feel?
Wait, did we
what
get
would you,
that from our coach?
yeah,
We
I
got
think so. What would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail? That's like, oh, well, everything really.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put this up when I'm doing my next video.
for me, I think the answer would be that I don't need to know how to do everything to start making money. And I can move towards success from where I am. Like, I don't need to be a perfect actor or have perfect method or have perfect training or have perfect, right? That actually it's by doing and experiencing and going forward and stepping out. That's actually the refinement of the diamond. It's in process.
And I think that kind of goes with like not expecting it, like it's going to be messy. It's going to be messy. One of the images that got me through being a parent, I have a soon-to-be 24-year-old and a 19-year-old young man and that I've been blessed to bring on this journey. And one of the things that got me through them being middle schoolers was hearing a story about how caterpillars become butterflies, and that it is that caterpillars are like, nom, 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 and then they go into this cocoon, this little concise, beautiful little thing, and dissolve into gelatinous glob, and then become a butterfly. So inherent, like trusting that there's probably going to be some gelatinous blobness somewhere along, and it doesn't mean that you're not on the journey. Like, don't expect, because you're not there yet, doesn't mean that you won't be, or that it seems overwhelming or insane or that's just part of the thing. It's not going to be pretty all the time.
I could see you in like an angry thing with one of your sons when they were young. You're just in the gelatinous ball.
No, I usually said that like they are a gelatinous blob. It is, they should dissolve to nothingness and then they will emerge.
So another question. Do you feel 100% of your journey has been up to you? Or how have other people influenced your growth?
Well, I think it all goes back to relationshiping. Like who I am and how I am and why I am and what I do is all of that. It's about my family of origin. You know, I'm an entrepreneur. My dad's an architect. I grew up in his office. It never occurred to me that I would have a job. Like, why would I have a job? Like, what? Why would I do that? Like, that doesn't compute. So that, you know, that, and then, you know, all the experiences I had at university and Northwestern, like that, all the people, I just saw, we just, you know, had a little gathering of people that I was freshman with 40 years ago. And we're all just like, hey, it's you. You're here doing Phantom. Hey, it's you. You're directing the show about, you know, it's like, hey, but we know each other and we are part of each other's journey and who we became. You know, Joy Gregory is an amazing, really, really successful TV writer. I just found the pamphlet from Freshman Scenes. We were in a scene together. Chris Chen was there. You know, like, it was like, these are the people who help you become who you are. And then every coach, knowing Valorie, knowing James, that it's, you don't do this by yourself. You don't ever. There's no such thing as doing anything by yourself. Otherwise, you're a computer. And who cares?
Yeah, but I think, you know, you make the decisions and you do things in your life that put you in front of the people.
Yes,
but
yes. You have to be open and you have to go. You have to go do that. That's the discussion we're having with 24-year-olds. Like, you know what happens when you walk out of the house? You meet people. And you know what doesn't happen? You don't die. So, yeah.
I think it's really sad that, you know, I really love when I go out. Like, I went to see one of my clients do stand up last weekend and it was so nice. Or when I went and saw James in a play, it's just so nice to go to a place and be around other humans that do love and do what I do. You know, it was, we're all craving that so much because we're in these boxes, you know. So
Tish, there's someone who's on the call, Gabrielle Lennon. who
Yes,
said,
she was someone who, like, she was literally my roommate at North. No, she lived next door to me. Yeah, no, we've been on this journey, like, literally since the first day of Northwestern. Hey, darling, good to see you.
Kim asks Valerie, I love the mic you're using. What kind of mic do you use?
I don't know. It's a cheap mic. It was only $50 and it's a crappy mic. I wouldn't suggest it. I got it because it changes colors.
But it looks fantastic.
But Kim, if you email me, I'll find the link and I'll send it to you on my Amazon. So it was literally $50.
And that's the mic that you need for the job that you're doing with it. We'll have a whole other discussion about what you need for voiceover, and it doesn't have to be the fanciest. If I was making a living,
I wouldn't be using this mic if I was doing what Tish is doing. Absolutely not. No, it's a crappy mic.
Yeah.
So Tish, are there any questions? I mean, we have some more questions also, but I want to ask you: are there any things in your life that we wouldn't know to ask you, but that would be really important, like, where you are in your journey? Things that you've had revelations about or discoveries that are really of the moment right now?
Yeah, this has been a really interesting year because, and we're 7 months in, so I'm not jinxing it, but the last 6 years, starting with the pandemic, have been, to put it diplomatically, challenging life experiences. To put it in, like Trump would say, fucking shit show. Right? People having mental breakdowns, people having financial crises, people dying, me getting cancer, like fucking shit show. I think one of the things that has really come of it is a combination of releasing having to take care of everybody in order to be liked or to make sure everything's okay. Right? There's lots of layers there. But releasing, like trusting that people can take care of themselves and I don't have to take that responsibility. Cancer is really good for that. You know what I can't do? Is take care of you. And on the other side is, what really helps is when you allow people to help. Right? Yeah. So I think those are kind of like the treasure with her arm around me on the curb going, what will we do? Those are the things that then it all ties in. It all ties in of the drive and we gotta, and if we don't, but what if I'm not enough? What if everybody hates me? We just had an amazing picnic and my team would be like, girl, 30 people have said that they're coming in the middle of the day, in the middle of the summer while the World Cup is going. People will come to your party. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I was like, ugh. But also like, hey girl, it's okay. It's all right. It'll be fine. So there's something in there of taking care of yourself by releasing responsibility or imposed control over thinking I've got to take care of everyone or everything's not going to be okay, and then allowing support to be received as well. I said that's where I'm at. How about you guys?
Yes, I'm very similar in some ways, like that sort of discovery about, I mean, for me, where I am in my life, I'm at this place of going, wow, I'm no longer the 30-year-old who thinks I can do everything that I ever wanted to do. And I'm really at a place of going, okay, wait a minute. I'm going to start letting go of the things that are not the most important things to me and focusing on...
That's what happens when you turn 60, Tish. Be ready. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And beginning to say, like, well, what are the things that I really want to do or really want to accomplish or write? Or if I could only choose one thing right now to do with my life, what would that be? And to let that be okay, right? So sort of like, and that means saying no to trying to take care of everybody else's things that they need to do, and having that be okay. How about you, Val? For you?
I've been thinking obviously a lot about this because I'll be 65 next year. And I've been thinking a lot about joy. Always looking for the joy in every situation and just the great conversation with my husband, not taking these moments when friends come over or we have dinner or we go somewhere for granted, like really allowing myself to find everything in that moment, you know, because sometimes you're sitting with your friends crying, sometimes you're laughing till you pee your pants, you know. And so I think like really embracing and even in my coaching, because I love talking to actors. I mean, I could, you know, I do it every day and I find joy in it. Like you said, when my clients book something, oh my God, you know, I get more excited than when I book it, you know, and I'm so proud of them because I feel like they're all my kids, you know. So I think finding the joy and the fun and stuff as much as possible for me.
One of the things that is something that I'm most proud of and I love most about the dojo and what it has become and who comes to be a part of it is that we literally have people who are finishing high school, like Connor just finished high school and he's joining the dojo community, and Adrienne is 80. And we have people everywhere on the journey, and we become friends and colleagues. And so when you're 80, you learn something from the 19-year-old, and when you're 19, you learn something from the 80-year-old or the 35-year-old or the 60-year-old. But we're all in it. So it's this place where we're all on this is what we want to do, and then this is where we're at, and then everyone has different reasons why they're doing it and what they want, but we're all in it together so we can learn with and from each other on the journey and have friends that I think that's something else that happens in the world. We're kind of siloed of, oh, so we're all kind of this age and we're all kind of this age. But when you have that ability to be working across all the life experience and have people be able to share and be friends and colleagues like that, that's super cool.
It is super cool.
Really
I love that too. And I think also you probably have experienced this, you know, the more I've gotten clear about my messaging, like the right people show up now. It's like, I was like, no wrong person shows up now. It's so insane. And also, I just love that. I love the mix of old and young, you know, because where do we get that really in our lives? And so that's really awesome. I love that.
Yeah. I love how many dojo people are here and meeting you guys, and then how many AFT people are here meeting dojo. It's cool, like that cross-pollination, and that I think, you know, in terms of businesses, like when you're part of something like Actors Fast Track, when you're part of something like VO Dojo, it becomes your business incubator. James and Valorie and I worked for many years together in a mastermind group in a coaching situation where we have grown our businesses together. So I always think of Actors Fast Track as Dojo's cousin. Like, we're family. We're family. You know, there's so much that's similar about what and how we do it. And you know, James, you were the only man member of the Girl Genius Mastermind, like, because you're family, right? Because that's the thing. So we create these spaces, and not only ourselves grow and become, but we grow and build our businesses together as well. So like, so much of early dojo stuff was like, hey, I'm coming to all the events that Actors Fast Track is doing. And Valorie knew that's a valuable thing. And then we do cross-pollination things like this, where we bring the families together because there's something that we can bring to each other. And that's really the key to everything. What can you bring? You don't have to fix everything for everyone. What can you bring, and how can you receive? That's,
you know, James, I so remember that day in that retreat when we watched Melissa and Tish build the belts and the whole thing for VO Dojo.
I know.
I will never forget that, Tish. Melissa was like, we were both sitting there. We talked about this all the time. Remember, James? We were like,
yeah.
We watched you build VO Dojo. We watched you build the levels and the belts and all.
Well, the cool thing being right now at VO Dojo is we're there. Like, I literally, one of the things that I just did, we just launched the curriculum part, which has been everything that's in, but I had this massive whiteboard that is like like that thing that was just a little gesture of like, here's how it's going to work. All of this like beautiful mind look on the board, but I was able to go like, we've got this in place, we've got this in place. I can erase all of this because it's come to life. And I think that's another really cool thing about understanding business and entrepreneurship and wealthy mindset. Being an entrepreneur is understanding that you can make money because you create product. There's a corollary that also is business. I think somehow as artists we get separated that business is not creativity. Business is 1,000,000,000% creativity. And that creativity is not business. Like, oh no, they go together. But there's this moment of evolution. Where I'm getting to with all of this is you keep on evolving and your business keeps on evolving. And you'll start honing in on what and why are we doing this? Who are we doing this for? How can I serve people better? How can my team serve people better? Like, what is it that we're doing? It becomes clearer and clearer. And it changes, too, right? But, yeah, that initial thing is like, it's live. It's here. The building, it's built.
Yeah.
The cathedral.
And it's a strong memory for me.
I mean, I remember sitting there with you looking at the board going, wow, like that is so genius. And one of the reasons for me as an observer, one of the ways in which it was genius was that it was not a deviation from who you are, Tish. It was rather the true expression of who you are. It was your fullest self, that you are someone who has studied martial arts. That's really important to you. So bringing the sort of playful competition, the gaming aspect of the dojo, so that you're not fighting against each other, you're playing in the game with each other. And that, like, it really felt integrated. And I think it's really important for people listening who are asking these questions about entrepreneurship. It's not about you beating out someone else. It's about standing in your true voice, standing in your true presence, and being relaxed and expressing that presence in its unique form.
Yes.
Because that's where someone else gets to pick you. They're not picking you over someone else. They're picking you for what you bring that fits with what they're creating. And it's finding that alignment. That's where we succeed.
Yeah.
And also when we don't get picked, it's often because we shouldn't be in that job.
That's interesting.
And also that's another word we can get rid of, rejection. Stop using that word. There is no such thing as rejection. It's like you just weren't chosen.
Exactly.
It's like
nobody cares that much.
No, they're not going. No, they're just going. That's the one I want, right?
Exactly.
And so it's just that you weren't picked, right? It's a big difference, and I hate that word. How do you deal with rejection? Well, I don't, because I don't get rejected. That's how I deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah. This has been amazing. I know we're over time, but I just it's been amazing. And I love the three of us together, because we need to be in another mastermind together.
Anytime, baby.
Yeah, James, you didn't follow us to Michelle.
Well, I will say, like, Michelle's fantastic. And I totally understand why you guys went to Michelle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Michelle is still part of my team. We work with her as a fractional CFO because that's her genius. She takes care of money. She thinks through money. She helps me create a framework of thinking of how to be thinking about these things, and she keeps us on track. So that, that's the other thing, like, not my forte, but look, I know this genius person. Yeah.
She's my bookkeeper. And she got the parasite, you guys.
Oh,
yeah. I know. And so I'm like, give her a little prayer, because she needs.
Oh, we're supposed to meet tomorrow. Yuck, that sounds terrible.
Oh, well, maybe she'll be I don't know. We had to do next week. So
Valorie and James, we have a bunch of stuff that's going on at the dojo. I don't know how you like to share things.
Well, tell us about it. Tell us what's going on.
Well, let's talk about the big thing, which is also another place in the evolution of the business. But we have an annual scholarship that we do called the Daniel Escobar Scholarship, and you can read about. I won't go into the whole story of who Daniel was, but it's at the heart. It's the very heart and essence of what we are at the dojo. But it's basically an opportunity to win a scholarship for our full training program, which includes You Should Do VoiceOver, which is the first part of the Mystery to Mastery full training. It's a $15,000 scholarship, and applications are due August 1st. So that's the first thing. If you go to www.thevodojo.com, scholarship is right there. We also have free things that we do each month. Ask the Sensei is on the first Wednesday. Get to Know VO is on the third Wednesday. We just had a great one yesterday about political VO. Those are things that you can just sign up for and get into the rhythm of the dojo and check us out and feel it through. We have You Should Do Voiceover. The next one is starting August. It'll be Mondays in August. If you're interested in that, we have VO Pro Fight Clubs, which is a part of our Working Pro division. That's also open to everyone as a spectator. Tonight, Jim Kennelly is talking about political voiceover. This is the benefit of having a business. You know what I'm doing? Political voiceover. You know what I'm doing? I'm calling this person I know, this person I know, this person. George Washington III, tell me everything you know about political. Jim Kennelly, come run a fight club for us. Great. Then you create what you want and need, and then you can share it with everybody else. I think those
and You Should Do Voiceover is virtual, right? Because I think
everything
the person I talked to yesterday is in Europe, but I recommended that to them.
Yes. Everything we do is virtual, so we can work with people in LA and around the country and around internationally. Internationally is our vision, so I'm so excited to get to meet Actors Fast Track people because it's really part of our vision of where and who we want to be working with next. We have a sensei who's going to be moving to Rome in September. So we're going to be able to maybe have some more CET kind of friendly thing. So yeah, it's all coming together. I think, let me just check and make sure. I think I said everything.
I really want you to come with me at London sometime. Actors Pro Expo.
Let's look ahead because I'm going to Paris at the end of August and for my 30th anniversary, and I'm looking around like, ooh, yeah. What if we did this all the time? So yeah. What if we did this all the time? Yeah, that's right. Your children.
Yeah, we would have fun. We'd be blowing up that place because, it's the smartest thing I ever did because for me, I'm very international, global company now.
It's good, but I think that's how we must approach the world. I think that's where the world needs to be. And at the moment, aside, I think that is where we are moving, and the more we create that relationship, it's good. Yeah. The other thing is I'll be speaking at the One Voice conference in Dallas in August, doing that messy middle thing. So
that sounds hot. Dallas in August.
Yeah, I think no, it's not my favorite thing. And it's put on by a bunch of Brits who choose Dallas in August. Yeah, everything you should www.thevodojo.com. You should be able to find everything that
and we'll definitely have that in our show notes for you.
Yeah, we can put all the links and stuff. If you're interested in talking more, you can always hop on my calendar. I'd love to meet you and hear where you're at and where you'd like to be. And everyone who's here from the dojo, I hope you hop on Valorie and James's calendars as well, because it's a great cross-pollination. It's like everything that they have to offer. Yeah, we talked about the scholarship. Great. Check it out. Would love to hear what you're bringing. Would love to have you in the mix there.
Oh, great. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It was great for you being here today, of course. And congratulations on your 30th wedding anniversary.
Thank you. Yeah. Speaking of consistency.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to do 40 next year, 40 years. And I think we're going to go to Japan.
That's cool.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next month on The Wealthy Actor. Thank you. And thanks, Tish. And thanks, James.
Thanks, you everybody. Guys. Thank
you everyone.
For being here. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.